In this video of Let's Talk Math, we're going to learn how to rewrite formulas and equations. So let's say if an area of a triangle is 12 feet and the height is 8 feet, what is the base of the triangle? Well, first what we need to do is we're going to rewrite this formula so that we have isolated the base and we can see how to do it. So first step is what we're going to do is we're going to we're gonna combine 1/2 to h and leave b on the side basically. So we have a equals h times 1/2 is h over 2 times b, right? So now what we're gonna do is, since we want to isolate the b, right? What we're going to do is we're going to divide by h over 2, and when we divide by that, we can always multiply by the reciprocal, and we're going to multiply both sides by that. So that'd be a times the reciprocal of h over 2 is 2 over h equals h over 2 times 2 over h times b. Now this would equal 0, so we have that b would equal 8 times 2 is 2a, so that'd be 2a over h, as we have here. So now we see that for now what we're going to do is we're going to replace the variables with the numbers they equal. So let's rewrite this equation. That'd be b equals, that'd be 2 times 12 over 8. Now, and 2 times 12 is 24, right? So we have b equals 24 over 8. And 24 over 8 is just 24 divided by 8, so we have that b equals 3 feet. Let's try another problem. We have that if the circumference of a circle is 4 pi meters, then what is the radius of the circle? So here we have the formula of the circle is the circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do inverse operation, and we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 2 pi, because 2 pi is basically r is 2 pi times r, right? So let's do that. So we have c equals 2 pi r over 2 pi, c over 2 pi, my bad, equals 2 pi r over 2 pi. This equals 1, and all that we are left with is r. So we have that the radius equals the circumference over 2 pi. So now that we know that the radius equals circumference over 2 pi, we can now solve the problem, right? So we have that, so let's replace the variable circumference with 4 pi. So we have radius equals 4 pi over 2 pi. And if you see here, we have a pi over pi, So that will cancel out. And now what we need to do is we need to just multiply 4 over 2. And we're just going to divide that, which would be 4 divided by 2. And 4 divided by 2 is, well, 2. So the radius of this circle equals 2 meters. Oops, that's meant to be meters. Now for our last problem, we have that if the surface area of a cylinder is 10 pi inches square and the radius is 1 inch, what is the height of the cylinder? Okay, so then again, we have this formula where S equals 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. So first what we're going to do is we're going to do the inverse operation, and the first inverse operation step is to subtract both sides by 2 pi r. So let's do that. So we have S minus 2 pi r squared equals 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared minus 2 pi r squared. Almost ran out of space, right? So with that, we have this would equal 0, and we're left with 2 pi r over h over here, right? So next step is, since 2 pi r h is basically just multiplying 2 pi r by h, we're going to divide both sides by that. So we have S over 2 pi r minus 2 pi r. We're not gonna write r squared, we're gonna do r times r over 2 pi r equals 2 pi r h over 2 pi r. And you see there, this equals 1. Now if you also look right here, you see that we have a 2 pi r times r and a 2 pi r on the top and bottom, right? So that means this would equal 1. Let's do it in this different color. We are left with is just r. So that'd be S over, let's do this here, H equals S over 2 pi r minus r. So now that we have solved this part, we can now replace the variables with the numbers. So we have that h equals s over 2 pi r minus r. So let's do that. So we have h equals 10 pi over 2 pi 1 minus 1. Now if you just look real quickly, we see how we have a pi on both sides. So that will cancel out. And 2 times 1 is just 2. So we have h equals 10 over 2 minus 1. And 10 over 2 is 5. So we have h equals 5 equals 5 minus 1. And 5 minus 1 is 4. So we have that the h equals 4 inches. Oops, wrong color. 4 inches. Now that you've solved this problem, let's review. What did we learn today? We learned how to use inverse operation, then replace the variables with the numbers. The last step is to solve. So that is all for this video, so please put in the comments below what else you'd like to learn. I'll also be posting more algebraic equations, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and check my other videos out. Bye!